Try not to rub it. I think rubbing is not going to help you. Hi, today is, what is today? Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. This is a private coding session with my student.
Tanay.
Tanay, okay. And again, TMI, don't share too much of it. Okay, today we're going to get into it. So we're going to cover functions. So we may not be able to do it all this week. We might have to go into next week. But functions, functions are literally the Tanay, if Abercrombie and Finch, if they're not paying you, you shouldn't be advertising for them. Okay.
Okay.
Well, don't worry about it. Next time, no, don't worry about it. The next time we'll work on that. Right? Why do you want to advertise for them? They're not paying you, right? Trying to teach you some real world things, right? Okay. So Tanay, what is a function? What is a function?
A function is a block of code that does one job, I think.
Okay. How could we relate that? What would be an example in the real world?
An example of a function in the real.
Yeah. How would that? Let's say you work at a factory. How would another word for function would be, right? You said job, right? So instead of function, we could say, is a job or it's a task.
Okay.
So do you see that in the chat?
Kind of.
Okay. So what's another way of so let's say if we had a factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would there be only one person in the factory?
No, there'd be a lot.
But does everyone do everything all at the same time?
Yeah.
How does a factory work? Let's say it's a factory that makes toy kites for kids. How would that factory work? Does one person make the whole kite by themselves?
No. So there's somebody that makes the part of the kite that you see, like the colorful part, and then somebody else makes the sticks.
Right. And there's a tail. How many parts are there with the kite? There's a tail. There's the
sticks,
the cloth, the fabric.
And there's the string.
And then the strings, right? There's strings and the frame, the sticks, right? Okay. So what would be the smartest way to run your factory?
An assembly line.
Right. Thank you. Assembly line. Thank you very much. Assembly line, right? So one person, so there's a box for the toy kite. Okay. Somebody has to get the boxes, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to get the boxes, and what do they have? The boxes don't come in the correct shape. So what does somebody have to do with the cardboard for the box?
They have to cut it, fold it.
Right. They have to make the box, right?
And they also have to paint it.
Well, let's say that's already done. That's already done. Okay. But somebody has to make the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens? Then the box goes to what would be the next person to get the box?
The next person who gets the box probably puts the kite in.
Well, the kite has multiple parts, right?
Yeah. So
one person would let's say there's a box,
mm-hmm.
and there's a bag, right? You put all the toys you see. What happens? You open up the box. What's in the bag? What's in the box?
The toy.
Right, but the toys are separated into packages, right?
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them, but
Lego is.
Legos, right? Let's talk about the Legos. How does aren't the pieces packaged in a plastic bag separately?
What do you mean?
The Lego box. When you open the Lego box, don't you have a whole bunch of different bags with the Lego pieces in it?
Yeah, because if you mix them all together, then it would be chaos.
Right. Right. So let's say there's some person. So you get the box, and then one person, let's say, puts in the frame, the sticks for the kite. Okay. Then the next person puts in the bag with the body of the kite. Right. Then another person puts in the tail. Right. And then we need another person that puts in the string. Right. Okay.
Wait, what is the tail? Like the part that you
Well,
hold?
that balances, that keeps the kite from just,
That
twirl.
it holds the
It needs a
string?
tail to keeps it balanced. Okay. If you try to fly a kite without a tail, then it just like, it's hard to control.
I've never seen a kite with a tail before. The kite I had, it was shaped like an eagle, so there was
Okay.
no
Well,
tail. Like it
then
was
yeah,
probably the tail
but
of the
usually a tail will help it's easier to control the kite that way. Depends on the kite. Okay. So after everything is in the box, we still need what does the last person need to do in the assembly line?
needs to seal the box.
Right? But first they have to make sure everything is in the box. What happens if you open a box and what part is missing? Are you going to be happy?
Then
You're gonna complain, right? Hey, something's missing in the box. I can't fly my kite, right? Okay. Okay. So just like in the real world, functions they do one job. So it's that's good. It's a good way to think of it. Assembly line. It's like an assembly line. Okay. So it's like
okay,
an assembly line. Okay. Because in assembly line, you have to do one thing, and then it goes to the next person and the next person and the next person, right? Okay.
okay.
What happens if one person in the assembly line stops working?
One person's assembly line stops working.
Yeah, what happens to the assembly line then?
It's basically like breaking a board in half.
Right. You end up with a whole bunch of kite boxes with something missing. That's not going to make the company look good. That's going to make you look bad, right? Kids are opening the boxes and some things are missing. What are they going to do when they go online?
They're gonna say,
They're going to
"Don't
say
buy."
never ever ever buy Tanay's kites. He sells you kites and without everything in it, right? Is that going to make you look good?
Yeah.
No, that's gonna make you look really bad. Your kite business is gonna go out of business. It's good. The business is gonna fly away. Okay, your business
The
is gonna get
business
stuck in a
will
tree,
fly away and get stuck in a tree.
and that's it. It's for today's kite business. Okay,
And then
okay,
the tree company will come over and then they'll yell at you.
okay,
The company that
okay.
sells
So
tea.
the assembly line, right? That's a good way to think of assembly line. Okay, so one function. Okay, so one function has to work correctly for then the next function to work, okay? Right? And then we get a result, right? What is the result in today's kite factory? What is the result?
Bankruptcy?
I'm sorry?
Bankruptcy.
well, let's not hope for that. Let's hope that the factory works correctly. Everyone does their job. Kids get the kites that they want and everything's in the kit so that they can build a kite and they're happy, right? So the result that you want
Really?
is a fully is a kite kit that has all the parts in it, right?
Okay.
Right. Tanay, you got to keep your face in the camera. Face is chopped off. Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay.
So it's the same idea when we talk about sequence. Okay. Do you remember what sequence is?
Nope. Not a clue.
You forgot? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like in math. Okay. Like in math, what do we have? How do you solve a math problem? What do you have to do correctly?
Put in the right order, the right
Right.
sequence,
So,
like
right, we call that order of operations, right?
bed mass. Over here we call it.
Right. If you do it in the wrong order, do you get the right answer?
No.
No, you get the wrong answer, okay? Also, you have to, so sequences, you could also think of as order matters, okay? Order
Oh,
matters,
yeah,
okay?
I remember that from the quiz card.
Right, from the quiz card, order matters, right? If you do have the computer do things in the wrong order, then you get the wrong answers, and that's not good, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna start sharing my screen.
Yours.
Okay, okay. Oops, your video turned off again, but
It did.
okay. So what's a function again? What do we call a function?
A function is a block of code that does one job.
Okay. Today your video is still off.
Yeah.
Right. A function is a block of code that does one job. And what do we need in Python to make a function? What do we need?
You need to call a function. You need not.
Well, first we have to make the function.
Def.
First we have to make the function. Okay. So what do we need to make the function?
Def keyword.
Okay, the def keyword, right? Okay. So what comes after the def? Let's say, okay, let's say we want to make a function that, okay, it just prints a message. Okay, it just prints a message. It just says, "Hello, how are you doing?" Okay, let's just keep it really simple. Okay. Did we do this already? I can't remember. No, I don't think so. No. What did we do last week? We did
Functions.
we did
We
functions.
did a little bit.
Only a little bit, right? Last week we were finishing okay, I'm sorry, functions. Okay, so so looping, we did mostly looping. Okay. So A, B, so you answered A, B, and E, but we need to work on C and D, but we'll just do a review anyway. Okay. So what do I need after? So let's say we want a function that prints out a greeting. Okay. So very simple. So what after def? What do we need after def? So we want to define the function. So what do we need after def?
What do you need after def?
Yeah. So if we want to define a function, what do we need after def?
You need the name of the function.
Thank you. Well, you need the name of the function. Okay. This is for the video and for the people watching the video. It's not for you because you already answered the question. A function is a block of code that does one job. Okay. Okay. So what should we call this function? It's gonna print out a greeting. So what do you think we should call it?
Hello, hi.
Hello. Hi. Okay. Okay, I already answered that question. Okay, so what comes after the function name?
Colon, I think.
Okay, well,
parentheses and then colon.
Parentheses and then colon. Okay. Okay, so what should I have in the body of the function? You want it to output hello, hi, how are you doing? So what do we need in the body of the function now?
Print.
Do you want a message of your own, or what do you want anything to say?
Print hello from Mars. How are you doing from Mars?
Okay.
That's funny. This is a message from.
You know anybody in Mars?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't spell that correctly. Okay.
Martian Manhunter. He's from Mars. In his name, Martian. Martians are from Mars.
Right. Canadians are from Canada. Okay, so how do I get the function to work?
How do I get the function to work?
How do I get
I
the function to
don't
do
know.
anything?
I don't know.
You don't know. What do we need to do with the function?
Ow. How do you need to code a function in Python? You need to call the function.
Right, we need to call the function, okay?
So
So how do we call a function?
put hello, hi, parentheses.
Hello, right, so I have to put in the name of the function. Then what comes after the name of the function?
Two parentheses.
The parentheses, okay.
And then do that 2 more times on a different line.
Okay, well, let's just do it one time, okay? Let's not rush. Okay, so Tanay, don't rub your eyes. Okay, so first, the code has to create the function inside the memory, right? So you see this on the right side?
Yeah.
So the computer creates the function inside memory, right? You defined it, and then the next thing we do is we call the function name, right? Line 11. Are you following me?
Yeah.
And hey, your face is chopped off. Don't chop off your face. Okay, so line 11. And what happens? What do you think happens when I execute line 11? You see what happened?
Then it went back to line 7.
Right. The computer goes, oh, this is the name of the function. I know the name of the function. It matches this name. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, and it's going to tell me what to do, right? So what does it do, Tanay?
Then it sees what do we need to do. Okay.
Right, it sees what do we need to do.
So I'll
and,
print, hello, hi, how you doing? This is a message from
right.
Mars.
Okay, it doesn't do much, right? Okay, then it goes into the body of the function, and then it executes whatever you told it to do in the function, okay? And then it outputted this message, hello, hi, how are you doing? This is a message from Mars, okay? Okay. Now, how many lines of code can you have in the body?
A lot.
A lot, okay? But you shouldn't have too many, right?
Nope.
Because then it's going to be too hard to read, understand, okay? So how many lines of code do we have in the body here?
3 lines.
We have 3 lines of code, okay?
Oh my.
So let's execute again. And I'll just go into, okay, let's just do this, okay? So it creates the function, right? You see that here on the right side, right? It creates the function in memory, right? If it's not in the computer memory, nothing happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then it goes to where you define the function. Then it executes the first line of code in the body, right? Right? You see that, right? And then what does it do next?
Then wait, I can't see your screen. Okay, now I can. And then it does it prints how you doing, like it puts it in the memory, then it prints it, then it puts this is a message from Mars, and then it prints it.
Right. Okay, so the body of the code, okay. Okay, so obviously we only call one function, that's all we do, right? Okay. So if we call the function again, how many times can we call the function?
A lot of times.
A lot of times. We can call it a lot of times, okay? Okay, so in this example, how many times do we call the function?
This time we called it 3 times, so that's
Call
really
it 3 times, right? Okay.
Hello, hi,
and
hello, hi, hello, hi.
and it's going to print out the message and it's going to print out the message 3 times.
Wait,
Okay.
why did it? Oh, I see it now.
Okay. Okay, so we know what a function is. We know how to define a function, okay? Let's say we wanted the function to not only print a message, but let's say we wanted to personalize it, okay? Let's say we wanted to say hello, hi, and then whatever name that we want to give it. So what do I need to do so that it can accept so we can send it and pass it information, someone's name, for example. Okay, so let's say my underscore. Oops, that's not right. My underscore name, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
How do we
Paul.
pass information?
2.
How do we pass information? So let's say we have a name, and let's put in Bob. Okay, Bob. Okay. So what do we need to do with the function so that we can pass information to it? What do we need to do?
I don't know. Is there a keyword or something?
No, we don't need a keyword. What about these parentheses? What are these parentheses for?
Well, they're just. Oh, you put Bob inside of the parentheses.
Right. But when we define the function, we're not gonna. What is the okay? So Bob, what is Bob? Is Bob the argument or the parameter?
Let's say parameter, I think. Question mark? Oh my god, there's a question.
What about my underscore name? What is my underscore name?
That's a variable.
That's a variable, okay? So what is Bob? The string Bob is what?
It's a parameter.
No, Bob is a value.
Oh.
Bob is a value.
Wait, you never gave that option. You said argument or parameter.
Okay.
It was a trick question.
So when we talk about information, first I taught you what a value is and what is a variable and what is a value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we talk about functions also need to be able to handle values and variables, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we talk about the function, what is the argument?
When we talk about the argument, what is the function?
So Bob is what? What is Bob? Bob is the what?
Bob is the
Is it the argument or the parameter?
It's the value.
It's the value. So what is the value? Is it the value, the argument, or the parameter?
The value.
Right. Bob is the value. So when we talk about functions, so the information we send, that we send to a function.
Mm-hmm.
So the information that we send to a function, okay, that's what we call an argument.
That's what you call an argument.
Okay. The parameter is the placeholder for the argument. It's kind of like Lego. It's like a Lego box. What would you buy a Lego box with nothing inside of it?
If it's a collectibles item, then yes.
No, you're not gonna buy empty box. Okay, so think of this like this. So the parameter is the box for the Legos or for the kite, right? The parts of the kite. Okay.
Kite? Where did
So
a
the
kite
box.
come from?
I'm sorry.
Where did a kite come from?
Well, it comes from a kite factory, of course. Someone
Yeah,
has
but
to build.
why you put in a kite? I don't remember talking about a kite.
Okay, let's stick with the Lego box, okay? So
Okay.
Lego, you buy a Lego set and then this box, and inside are the Legos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the Legos, they're the values. They're the actual pieces you use to make the Lego set, right? So you can think of the Legos, the actual Lego blocks as the argument, and then the box is the container, the placeholder, the parameter, okay? So when we define this function, so we need a parameter. What should we call the parameter? Because we want it to, we're going to give it names and it's going to print out the name. So what should we call that parameter? What should we call the name of that box? We're going to send the box to the hello hi function, and then it's going to open that box, and then it's going to find information and then use that to do stuff. I'm sorry?
You find the instruction / information.
Okay.
And the
well,
Lego
the box.
set
Well,
/
it's just. Well, the instructions would be the code, but forget about that. It's just the blocks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we call the parameter?
You call the parameter the box?
No. What in this function? What should we call that parameter? We wanted to print out names. So what should we call it? You give it a name, and then it's gonna add the name to the message. So we want hello world. I mean hello hi. So we want the output to be hello hi, and then let's say Bob, right? We want to say Bob, right? And then we wanted to say how are you? How are you doing?
You forgot
right?
to make that so the code ignores it.
Okay, so we want this output, right? But we need to name we need to give the parameter a name. So what would make sense to what kind of name would make sense to give that parameter? What name should we give that parameter?
You should give the
Tanay, your face is chopped off. Tanay, your face is chopped off. So what should we call that parameter?
You call the parameter. You call the parameter Bob, I think.
Okay, that's where we're a little confused. Bob is like the Lego blocks that you put into the box. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bob is the argument. Okay. Mm-hmm. What do I put in here when I call the function? What do I need to put in here so that it knows the name? What do I need to put here?
You need to put can't really remember. Wait, you need to put the name of the parameter, but we don't know the name of it. Wait,
I wanted to print out if I want this function to put in your name. So what do I need to? Where do I put do I put the name here? Do I put it outside here?
No, you put it in the parentheses.
Right, I put it inside the parentheses, right?
Yep.
Okay. But when the control goes to this function definition, how does it know where the name is?
When the control
is your name going to print out here anywhere?
No.
No. So where do you think we need to put the name of the parameter? Do we put it in here? Do we
In
put
the
it over
def.
here? Do we put it here?
In def, in the def
Do we
thing.
put it here?
No, in the parentheses.
Right, in the parentheses, right? Because that's where we're putting it, okay? So we need, here we need the name of the parameter. What should we call the parameter?
You could call it the Lego box.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense because this has nothing to do with Legos. So we
Right.
wanted to print, we want to give the function a name,
You could call
any
it the
name, and then we want to print the name inside the message. So what should we call that parameter?
You could call it the message.
Well, why would we call it message? This is the message. What would make more sense to put in here? We're going to send it a name. So what should we call the parameter?
You call the parameter the name or something.
Name, right? So that would make sense to call it name, okay?
Tag.
So where do we want the name to show up?
On the output board thingy.
So where do we want the name to show up? Here? Here? Here?
No,
Where do we want to print out the name?
We want to print out the name of the output board.
Right, but where should I put that name? So the name of the parameter is name. Okay, so where should I put that name? Look at the output we want. I want it to say, hello, hi, Bob. How are you doing? Right? So where should I put the name? Where does the name go? Do I put it out here? Do I type it here? Where do I put it?
You put it.
Do I put it here?
No, you put it inside the parentheses.
Right, I have to put it inside the parentheses, right?
You put it inside the hi, how are you? The how are you doing?
Okay, I put it inside here. What up? But I need an extra symbol. Will this work like this?
No, you need the double quotes.
I need double quotes?
Yeah.
Well, then it's going to print the word's name. It's not going to print the name. It's not going to print Bob or Tanay or anything else. It's just going to print, that's not going to work.
Maybe colon.
Look, this is what printed out. Does that make sense?
No, you need colon.
No, not colon. Okay. This is right. So we're going to use name, but we need another symbol. How do I add your name into this message? So that says, hello, hi, Bob. You forgot already? It's called concatenation. What do we need to concatenate?
What now?
Concatenation. How do we join these two strings together? So it says, hello, Tanay, what is your name here? What kind of value is this?
A string.
That's a string. So if we want to join two strings together, we call that concatenation. What do we need to concatenate two strings?
You make a bridge between them, like.
Well, what is the symbol we need to use to concatenate the strings? You forgot already?
I think it's a comma. It's either a comma or
it could be a comma, but what's the other? What other can we do? What else can we do?
A single quote.
No. How do we add things? What do we use to add things?
What do you use to add?
You forgot how to concatenate already.
Plus.
What? Plus. Right, plus. So where do I put the plus?
Sign and then.
Where do I put the plus sign? Do I put it here?
No. You put it at the last double quote.
Okay, so you're telling me to put it here? Here?
No, at the last double quote.
put it in here?
No, after that double quote.
After, okay, after. So I should put it in here?
No,
No?
no, don't make a space between them.
Don't make a space between them?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, don't make a
you can put a space, that's fine.
Oh, then put another
Computer's
one.
not going to get confused. Okay, so let's look. So when I execute the code, right? So first it has to define the function inside the memory, right? Okay. Okay. So then we go to line 20, right? Line 20. Okay. We send it an argument. What is the argument here? Tanay, your face is chopped off. What is the argument here? Tanay, what is the argument?
The argument is my name, I guess.
Okay, the string that's your name, right?
Mm.
And then it's going to go back up to what the function is, right? And then what is the name of the parameter?
The name of the parameter is name.
Name, right? Okay. And then it's going to use that name inside the code, okay?
What exactly do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do you mean exactly?
What do you mean they're gonna use?
Yeah, it's right here. Look, it's going to print out hello, hi, plus it's going to use whatever name, whatever string you gave it.
I think there's a little more to the concatenation.
I'm sorry?
Isn't there more to the concatenation than just quote less?
Quote less? Well, concatenation is when you join two strings together.
Wait, I'm gonna type in the chat. Go to the chat.
Why are you printing it in the chat? Did you print anything yet?
Yes, I did.
Well, it wouldn't be two plus signs. There's only one plus sign. And you wouldn't put them in double quotes. You wouldn't put the plus sign in double quotes.
Like, so you mean it's like...
Right here, look. We have this one string, right? And then we have the other string here, name. So whatever string you send it, it'll add to the message.
Okay.
Okay. So it's gonna take that name, Tanay, and then it's gonna add it to this string. Okay. You see what it did? Do you see that?
A little bit.
You can't see it?
Kind of, I can.
Okay. Okay, we need to add a space because then we need to add a space because it's all stuck together. So I'm gonna add a space here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so now it's easy to read.
Hello, hi. I can't
Okay,
see anything.
so if we want to send information, to a function, what does that function need to have?
The function needs to have parameter.
Right, parameters, okay?
It needs
Parameters.
to have def.
Okay.
It needs to have argument.
Okay.
We are arguing.
Also the argument, you can send a parameter. Tanay,
Yeah.
The argument you can send a parameter can be a variable.
Wait, the
Okay.
argument you send a.
So look what I'm doing here, right? So I have a variable called my_name, right?
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the parameter, the argument that I'm going to send the function is actually a variable. Do you see that? Line 15?
Wait. Wait, in line 15.
What is line 15?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this?
What is
Did you
line
see that?
15?
Mr. Hun, did you see that?
No, I didn't see anything.
Well, everything was like slanted and different. It was so weird.
Okay, I didn't say anything. So what
It's
is
like
line 15? What
line
is line
15.
15? What do we call that?
You call that parameter naming thing?
No, it's just a variable. Come on, it's just a
Oh yeah,
variable.
variable.
Okay. So what am I sending line 20? What am I sending to the function?
The my name variable along
Okay.
with its values.
Okay. The my name variable. Okay. So what is the my name variable here in line 20? What do we call that?
The my name variable in line 20.
What do we call that?
You
Is that an
call it
argument or a parameter?
an argument.
Right. It's an argument. It's also a variable. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to the code. And so what happens when I run the code? What are we going to see? What's the output?
Hello, hi, Tanay. Hello, hi.
No.
Tanay.
Where's
Hello,
Tanay?
hi, Tanay. How you doing?
Where's
Hello.
Tanay? Where's Tanay here?
All right. Hello, hi, Bob. Hello.
Okay. It's going to say hello, hi, Bob. Okay.
Also, it's gonna say, "How you doing? How you doing?
How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay. 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 So we can have a function without parameters. We can have function with parameters. Okay. We can also have functions do what? What can functions also do?
Functions can also, let me see. Functions can also add names.
So we can send information to a function, but what else could we do? What else can we have the function do?
You could also have it I don't know how to explain.
Let's say we make a function where we send it two numbers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we want the function to do with those two numbers?
You want the function to.
So if I give you two numbers, 10 and 20, and I tell you today add them together, what are you going to do with those two numbers?
I'm gonna add them.
But then what do you do with the number?
And then what do you do with the number? Well, you add them together.
Right, you add them together, then what do you do with the answer?
I don't know. What I do know is you have to concatenate it. That's what you do.
Well, you don't concatenate numbers. You just add them. You don't add them. Okay. So we have two numbers. We have two numbers.
Okay.
So we send it to add, and it adds the numbers, but then what else does the function need to do? If I give you two numbers and you add them, you just write them on a paper and you hide it from me?
No.
So what do you do with the answer?
You.
Your math teacher gives you math problems to do. You do the math problems, and then what do you do with the answers? You just keep them to yourself? You just hide them?
You write it down and you give it to the
Right.
teacher.
So how would you describe that? You are blank. What are you doing? You're blank the answers. You are.
You answer the answers. Well, you submit the
Okay,
answers.
so let's say the math teacher gives you a piece of paper with math problems, and then you do the math problems, and what do you do with that piece of paper?
Then you give it back.
So what's another word of saying, so what's another word for describing that? Giving it back.
Submit.
What? Okay, submitting. What's another word? Starts with the letter R.
Retaliation.
What? No, not retaliation.
I don't even know what that means.
Tanay, did you do the worksheet? What does it say over here?
Return.
Return. Okay. So what do I need to do over here in this code? In line 9, what do I need to do?
In line 9, that rhymes.
What's missing here?
What? The return
What
code.
keyword is missing here?
Return keyword, I think.
The return keyword, okay? Okay.
I just guessed.
So without this return keyword, is this function going to work?
No.
No, it's not, okay?
No.
Okay, so let's see how it works, okay? So first we have to define the function, right? And then we have the variable that's going to hold the answer, right? Okay, right now I'm set it to 0. Okay, you see that? The answer right now is 0. We don't have anything in there.
Okay.
So what are the two arguments I'm sending the add function?
5, 10 equals 10, 5.
Okay. So then it's going to go to the function here, and what is this function going to do with the two numbers?
The function
is
going to, drumroll please, add them.
Add them, right? Okay, it's going to add them. Okay. Okay. Now here, pay attention. Line 9, right? Line 9. It's going to then, you see that? Do you see this? What is this here?
Kind of. Let's see it.
On the right side, what does it say?
Oh my God, it says return value.
The return value, right? The return value, okay? So then what's going to happen to answer?
Is gonna.
What is answer now?
15.
Okay, so we save the answer. And what is the last thing that's going to happen?
Wait.
Tanay, your face is chopped off.
Again.
So what's the last thing that happens?
The last thing that happens is it prints the answer, I think.
It prints the answer, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't know what the answer was, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay, so let's see if we have, okay. So we only have 5 minutes, so I'll just do a review. So Thursday, I want you to be able to do the whole thing, do A, B, C, D, E on the worksheet by yourself, okay? Are you following me?
Which worksheet?
I'll show you. Okay, so the assignment, right? You need to be able to answer these questions, right? Rewatch my functions video, okay? Rewatch my functions video, okay? Also, I have a link to this webpage that talks about functions, calling a function, what are arguments. So I want you to read this, okay? If you have not read it, read this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so 5 parts, okay? What is a function? You need to know what a function is. How do you define a function in Python, okay? How do we pass information, arguments to a function, okay? How do we get a function return output, right? And how do we call a function? A, B, and E, you already did A, B, and E. So you already did that. So you need to understand C and D. And then Thursday, I want you to do the whole thing in the video, okay?
Okay.
And okay, so after you're done with that, I want you to take a look at, this will be the next thing you'll be doing, not this week, but after Thursday, I have exercise your functions.
What does that mean?
Well, you need to exercise your function muscle. You need to know how to make functions, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So that's not the, so it's so it's due
In 3 days.
So I want you to work on that on Friday, and then see as much as you can do. Okay, it's worth 100 XP and 100 coins.
Okay.
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 Okay, we still have 3 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now, so obviously when we code, it's not about one function. How many functions are you going to be using in your code?
One.
Today your video is off again.
It is?
Yeah.
How about now?
How many functions are you going to be using in your code? How many functions do you know how to use now? What functions do you know how to use?
I know how to use the return function, the def function.
Well, return is not a function. Okay.
Oh.
So you know how to use print. Print is a function, right?
Oh yeah, print.
Print is a function. What about the turtle graphics?
That's a function?
When you move forward, move backward, left, right, pen up, pen down, those are all functions. You didn't get that? Okay.
No.
Actually they're called methods, but they're basically the same things. Okay.
Okay.
So functions are really important. If you don't know how to use functions, if you don't know how to make your own functions, are you going to be able to code?
No, not really.
No. Okay. A lot of functions are already made for you. But today, that's not making you look good in the video. So a lot of functions are already made for you. So you can save a lot of time. But sometimes you will need to make your own functions. Okay. So what is a function again?
A function is a lookup code that does one job.
Okay.
Only this much.
What is an example of functions in the real world? What did we use today to describe function? What?
Robots.
Well, we used a factory, remember?
Oh yeah.
Use a factory. And what did you say? A factory has what? Has a what?
Assembly line. Right?
Assembly line, right. Has an assembly line, right? Right. Okay. So without the assembly line, oh, she's already, okay, she's on, okay. Okay, so looks like Addie's here, so I'm gonna have to kick you off.
Can I say
So
hi?
I'll see you Thursday, okay?
Okay, can I say hi to Addie?
Oh yeah, sure. 1 second. I'm gonna stop the recording.